E-gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quest for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going into our upper bracket matchup. One of these teams is going straight through to tomorrow. The other one will have to fight it off in the decider match, best of 3 later today. Now we have PRO100, QB.Fire, both winning their matches on Cobble. I think QB.Fire definitely the team that's impressed me most today with their win over Spirit. But joining me once again, and who's going to take away this pistol, is just Harry.
And already QB.Fire going to be heading in through mid. Smite quick to shut one down. Actually going to be doing a boatload of damage up here. Does claim a second life. Ken's trying to shut these guys down as they push out through connector, but doesn't manage to get much done. Instead, it's Banana Rocker and Undo between them. They get 3 quick frags, turn this pistol round completely on his head, and Def now stuck over towards CT. Finds himself here alone, crushed within the site. Pushed up over towards Tetris, just going to be letting these guys cross and play the angle. They do check it, but no, they think it's going to be clear. And now he pounces on out, gets himself 2, leaving this all on Undo. 1v2, bomb out over towards ramp. This pissed around just so incredibly back and forth. He has to try and isolate these players. They have the crossfire set up. He is allowed to cross, but no, Def going to execute him. And that's PRO100 to go ahead and pick up that pistol.
Yeah, the very backwards and forwards round. It didn't seem like there was any clear winner in that sort of situation. But nice little play from the corner will give Crush and Smike the combo to win them the round. And, well, now we're going to see the Force Buy come in. In the previous map that we saw from QB, they were very good with these Deagles, able to pick up quite a few kills across the board. Fnatt going to save a little bit of money, of course, for his AWP. Mike, looking like he's about to go aggressive into mid. Will be the one to find himself that first kill onto Balbina. No chance for a trade as of yet, although Crush is getting tagged very low. Has to be careful as there is quick pushing in up on him into that B-apps. In the meantime, Undo is lost over in towards the A site. But that is going to be an M4 for Quick to play with. This could make things a little bit interesting. He's got armor as well behind it. Flarich is going to be sneaking around. Still manages the kill. Just about down to 4 HP. The bomb actually rotating in. There's another player here, however, and Quick has no idea where Def currently stands.
Yeah, you can already tell they're going to try and rotate actually over towards the A-bomb site. You can already see that both Def and Smike end up over in mid. Ken's the only player out here towards A, trying to buy time, and it has bought enough time for Smike to rotate up through connector to reinforce his A hold. But as saying that, he's going to get beheaded as Smike takes his head clean off. Bomb plant looking to try and come in. It's going to be safe from CT at least. They get the bomb plant before Def does finish the round off with a swift 3K. Defuse is going to be coming on in, but a bomb plant's going to be worth its weight in gold at boosting that economy that much more for the buy up into round number 4. And I mean, we can either see them now just look to try and run this next round with Glocks as they would have had to have done anyway. They could buy up some pistols, but I imagine the more likely thing we're going to see them do is elect to keep that extra money in to round 4 for the extra utility and for the orbs. But saying that, a couple of them are going to be buying down into this one. So you've got the armor up on Quick, 2 Deagles in play. Undo going to be picking up armor as well. So no, instead they're just going to go for the armor buy, try and make something happen with these pistols.
Yeah, it's still going to have enough money to buy into the next round anyway. Fnatt with his AWP, so this is all just more attempting to do some extra damage. Clarence actually sticking with a P250, so it does have to be a little bit careful. We saw this in the previous game, but didn't work out too well for Little Smike, however. Cleaning things up. Quick able to pick one with the Deagle and looks to continue his push onto the A side. The bomb, however, trapped in middle, so they really have to make some sort of play. And they are managing to do more damage than possibly expected. Def likely to go down as well, bringing this into an actual even scenario, in fact, as we find an M4 on Undo's hands. Balbina going to use the smoke and just about escape, and Flarich being tagged through the smoke isn't helping either as we go into a 2v2 scenario. going to be going on to the bomb. Undo is around the corner, but it won't be him who does anything in that scenario. It's Balbina to shut down both kills. It will be a round out of nothing, really, for QB.Fire. Small amount of investment that was able to win them the round, and that will actually do a huge amount of damage to PRO100. Only 2 players surviving in the previous round. They'll have to force everything to try and stay alive in this one.
Yeah, force buying down what they can. It's going to be the rifle up on Smike. Def with the UMP. 2 Eagles and the 5-7 in play, but look at this from QB.Fire. Everyone wants the A-bomb site. There's only Kenzo here with the Deeg. He has to at least get one. And he doesn't get that. He will go down straight away. The A-bomb site just opened up. And at this point, if I was PRO100, I'd be thinking about saving. They could definitely go at this again in the next round. We'll be able to get a decent buy together, but Smike going to fall rotating around in through T-spawn. 3 players now fall on back. Look to save. Hold on to these... I mean, they don't really have much. They've got the UMP. Have a Deagle as well, but it's more the armor and utility they're looking to try and save at this point. They can go at this again in the next. They want to try and pick up that M4, but look at this. Balbina's not going to give them the satisfaction. Fnatt Rocket rotating on around to try and help out as well. And this round, they could have had 3 players with armor and pistols up behind them in the next round. They could have had 4 with the rifle even on Smike, but they tried to go for that retake and they do get punished for it. So QB.Fire go ahead and pick themselves up a second. PRO100's economy and not looking great. Should allow QB.Fire to get themselves a third.
Yeah, the painful scenario to be in. They will be able to buy in the next round with the 2,400 loss bonus, but this has just given a massive boost over to the economy of QB. Like, they win a round from, well, a save, pretty much. They were trying to get ready for the next, and instead, they end up winning it, and every single player has 3k or more, some of them over 7,000 already, and we're only in round number 5, and they're up against an eco in this one, so have a chance to build even more money. And, well, the great thing about this for them is they're pushing into Flourish, who literally only has the USP, and, well, in fact, loses his head in a matter of seconds. The remaining players, well, in this sort of situation, I'm questioning whether they should just go for it, because in the next round, they will have a buy. The UMP may be worth saving, especially with the kit and the Kevlar behind it, but the remaining 3, I don't really see too much value in keeping what they have. Maybe Crush because of the armor as well, could get some extra utility, but the other 2 have nothing.
Looks like now it's going to sit pretty. Smike going to go down. He will be the first man to fall as they try to exit out on the site here. You have still got the armor saved up on Crush and Def, which is going to eliminate some of the costs of buying up in the next round. Allow them to have a little bit more utility. The defuse kit's still going to be up as well, so saving on these players isn't too bad. They don't do any damage, however, and that's going to be the second round consecutively in which 5 players for QB.Fire were allowed to stay alive. For a team that is 3-2 up on the scoreboard, having $10,000 in 2 of their teammates' bank accounts is not really what you'd expect to see. Fnatt Rocker's got himself 8k as well, so they've got plenty of cash built up, and now PRO100, they are going to finally be going ahead with their buy. M4s, some utility up behind it as well, and that kit carried forward on Def.
Aggressive push out middle for the T side. Looking to get control early. Gonna have quick up in the B apartments. Quite a bit of aggression coming out from Crush as well. Looking to try and challenge this position very early in the game. Well, could backfire if he's not careful, and in the meantime, there's a huge battle going on in middle. Players burning all over the shop. So much damage done to the 2 currently in middle. Def is so low on HP, and what looked like a decent scenario just falls into an awful one. They lose every single player other than Kenzo, who's on the complete wrong side of the map. Looking like a similar situation to what we saw previously, and now, well, they're going to have to try and save this one rifle. Def, with a little bit of extra money in the next round, may be able to drop pistols or just save it to make sure they get an AWP in round number 7. But so far, QB.Fire looking very, very strong, and it's going to take quite a few rounds in a row to actually break the economy, and I think that's the right call. Yeah, early pause.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's something we've commended a lot of these teams for, and I feel like it's something that I'm really liking, you know, kind of getting to see, is that they're not afraid to take these pauses only on. Of course, I believe the ruling for this one is what? Because I know they're doing the new 30-second pauses, isn't it? And don't you get 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I think it's the Valve. Yeah. The Valve.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, okay. Figured it would be. But yeah, so the 4 30-second pauses, of course, they're more than enough time for you to talk stuff over. And, you know, we see teams using them quite freely, which is something I like. I mean, we never really see a team kind of run all 4 pauses out anyway. Usually we see them kind of take 3. Taking one this early on is something I could definitely get behind. The scoreline currently being 4-2. 2 rounds in favor of QB.Fire. And, you know, the last 4 rounds consecutively going the way of QB.Fire. It makes 100% of sense for PRO100 to be taking this now. I mean, they have got very little done. That round was the first round in a long time where they've actually been able to kill someone. So, you know, economy's fast building up for QB.Fire. PRO100 now have very little to work with. It is going to go 5-2 by the looks of things. QB.Fire should be able to pick up another round before PRO100 have too much of a bye together. So, yeah, I mean, looking at it right now, pause most likely going to affect how the next round is played out. But in this time, we've got Kenza, we've got Crush pushing aggressively up through top mid. Quick going to be fast to find a frag over towards ramp. Def goes down, and then the push in towards the A-bomb site going to be telegraphed. Smike in through the smoke, finds a quick fancy 1D down onto Quick in return. A 4-4 retake will ensue as the bomb goes down on this site.
I really like the way they're throwing their utility though with these executes. But even though Smike does manage to get a kill, you can see they don't only throw a smoke down. I like Kenza. Maybe about this afterwards. He seems like he's going to go for this, try and do something with the rifle. Actually manages to catch a second, dinks up one more, or at least making this very costly for their opponents. I don't think there's much hope for Flourish in this situation unless they make some sort of massive mistake. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Quick's just highlighted it in the chat. But yeah, he actually runs through the smoke, but finds on the other side that they've thrown a molly just by the bench. So that if anybody tries to peek through, they're actually going to get burned. So it's quite clever. Normally you just see the smoke wall. You don't see any sort of iterations or adaptations from it. But that is directly there to try and stop anybody being able to go aggressive. So I like that. I think it's clever. Didn't work in that situation as he just peeks into the Molotov. But all in all, nice little strategy. They win the round. Only 2 players surviving though. So the CT side now with a full by themselves. Although that economy is still pretty ludicrous for the T's.
Alright, I mean, interesting enough, we haven't actually seen that orb board up. Instead, we've just been seeing them run the 5 rifles, and it's been working out brilliantly. Smike this time for PRO100 going to have the orb in hand. Kenza knows there's a player there. He's seen the nades come out. It's surprised he's not trying to go for the spray through, but Unzu now going to pushing up through the smoke. Lands the pre-fire on Kenza. This is why you shouldn't have tried to have played it too smartly. Def going to go down as well. The A-bomb site once again just cracked wide open through CT. It's Crush trying to find anything in through the smoke at this point. Even a singular frag would be worth its weight in gold, but no, they're forced back and have to save once again. Everything is coming up the way of QB.Fire. This looks to be a very one-sided affair thus far. I mean, when you look at it, they've gotten bomb plants almost every single one of these rounds on their T side thus far. There's been 2 rounds where they haven't.
Yeah, these have just been very, very quick rounds as well. They've just been either challenging mid and then splitting onto the site, or just pushing straight onto one of the sites. A lot of that, I think, does come down to the economy game. At least should be able to hold on to 3 players, which is going to help them getting a bye in the next round. With max loss bonus, they'll have no problems. But, yeah, a lot of it is just these aggressive pushes. For example, like you even mentioned it at the time, that push through the smoke, it was a basic pre-fire angle, and the CT knew he was there. It was just trying to more play it smartly, not give away his position to ramp until the time was completely necessary. But it backfires completely. They get that opening kill again. And that's got to be quite tilting if you're the player on A, the fact that you're going down so quickly every single round. Flaric, highlighted as one of the star players for this team, yet to get a frag on the board. Only really Smike that's had something to cheer about. He does have his AWP, looking to try and take control of it. No smoke going to go down. We'll push him further out. Actually going to try and cross to see if there's a little bit more of a gap, but there isn't. No mistakes made there.
Yeah, just rushing up through short, raw aggression from QB.Fire. Gonna net them control of that ladder room. 2 players for PRO100 over here in towards B. And actually, when you look at it, Smike's been forced out a window. Instead, now watching the murder hole from CT. And I mean, look at the aggression as well from Def and Kenzo. They've grabbed so much control over towards ramp. The only issue is, I mean, they're almost trading places. Now, this is eliminating a lot of angles for PRO100, but the issue is that still really have yet to act on it. Finally, we're going to see Smike rotate out of CT on A and potentially back over towards mid as they get a very good idea as to where QB.Fire are. Thanks to Kenzo, he makes his way now all the way through T-spawn. Going to be trying to come in through apps behind these guys. Now, only Quick's here, and this could give a bit of a false impression as to where QB.Fire are. With 30 seconds left, he is going to be lining up the smokes and flashes to go in, but it's going to go down as he throws that smoke out. Kenza trying to play things smart, does connect the frag, and will extend that man advantage. Now, Balbina out towards A, does find 1 minute in the blink of an eye. It's all on him. The bomb down over at B. There's no time left. So PRO100 will pick this round up, and I think a lot of that is going to be on the back of Kenza and with that aggressive play.
It's quite interesting, actually, because Balbina was clearly aware of the potential for somebody to be pushing behind, because he was sat at the top of mid for a lot of that round, just watching behind to make sure nobody could flank round. But they didn't have the same sort of idea that that could happen over towards the B apps, because it's a spot that Balbina, although he's holding in that area, it's more of a problem that they didn't really have the right communication to actually help Quick, because if he's in apps, he needs somebody holding a little bit further so they can actually stop them getting into the ladder room unnoticed. So that may be one of the reasons why the pause has been called. I do think that was a little bit of a loose round from them, and considering all the map control they had, they didn't really get anything done, all because of, as you said, that flank. But they needed to spot that out a little bit sooner. So just going to talk things over. As said, there's plenty of pauses for them to be had, so they may as well take them and just use them wisely. They've only actually lost 1 buy round, so it's not a huge problem, and still got loads of cash. It's still got enough to probably buy for the next 2 rounds. So definitely still looking over at that CT side. However, they do manage to keep 3 players alive, and Kenza even has over 5 grand in the bank now, so a little bit of a bolster of money for them to at least move forward.
Aggression out of it towards mid for QB.Fire early on. 2 players over in apps as well, and then they also sent Undo over here towards A. Flower going to be watching mid from short, looking like he's going to try and take a lot of that responsibility on his own. They actually rotate Smike now round into connector to try and help out. Looks like they're going to be leaving window open. They rotate Smike and Def back and forth, eventually deciding that Smike's going to pull on back towards CT, but already Def has gone down. There's no trade potential to come in from Flaric over on short, who's playing it very passively. So the man advantage grabbed early on. No one there to trade things back. And well, you have got Smike over on CT up on ticket booth to watch mid at the push up through connector. If the smoke goes down, he will be rendered null and void. And Balbina, and what's his boost? It's very, very nice to spot the player up on short, tags him down extremely low, and QB.Fire looking to be in the driving seat in this round. They've got mid control, they've got players over on ramp, and they're in a great position to split out towards the A-bomb site.
So many positions to be held. That's the big problem at the moment for the CT side. You can see them looking towards jungle, but a little bit empty to looking at ramp. Now Kenza the only one left. Jumping around the corner will be Undo. He falls, and actually Kenza doing a little bit more work than possibly expected. Takes down 2, gives them a chance, but it's my with the instant response, leaving Flaric alone. 1 versus 3. Like he's going to back out, and rightly so, in fact, with the extra 1400 they'll get. He'll have 4 grand, be able to drop 1. Kenza could opt to drop an AWP, and well, then things get a little bit sketchy from then on out. Or he could have a rifle for himself and drop 1. We'll have to see what they opt to do. But PRO100 with the 1 and done, the most problematic scenario you can have when on your CT side, because you really need to be building up that money. Flaric still looking. If he can drop someone, it would at least mean a few more rebuys have to come in, but you still have to remember the money is still very, very good for QB.Fire. So they're not going to be worrying about losing a player or 2.
Terrorists win.
And actually, it's a lot of damage the way of PRO100. If they didn't save up this singular AK, I think we could have well seen them have to have, you know, ecoed into this round.
Yeah.
Kenza Thankfully, with enough money now, go ahead and drop a rifle over to Def. Has enough to buy himself as well, so it will be a fully kitted team. They've got a nice bit of utility up behind them, but they are on the verge, on the tipping point of being reset once more, and that would allow QB.Fire to storm ahead and continue to build up this economy. So PRO100, it is pivotal that they pick this round up.
They're going to use utility, get themselves a bit closer. Quick will start. The trade is there from Fnatt as well once he goes down. Patient. Smoke's even going to start falling over towards that connector, but it's my in middle to actually finish off Flaric, who wants to try and find some sort of information. They always need to go for gambles when they're in that sort of deficit, not only in weaponry utility, but also in players. And because of that, he'll be caught out, and in fact, the situation becomes a lot worse. And again, QB.Fire are patient in their move. They could have just gone running onto the A site, taking a little bit more of a risky approach. Instead, they are just going to slowly walk over towards this B site. They do have to be careful, though, because Crush's position, one that could catch them out, although it depends how far he's going to push. He actually spots the AWP. Now, he shouldn't be taking the shot from here. He needs to walk around. The range of the UMP has been oh, that's just bad timing.
Yeah, the timing could not be worse for him. His fate has almost indefinitely been sealed. Fnatt Rocket now looking down, ready to push. Comes out from short. Smike does shut down one. Fnatt Rocket turning his attention up towards Apps. Spots out Crush. The pop flash going to come on through. He takes the peek, misses that first shot. Looks to get the hell out of there so he doesn't have to face off against the UMP. And now Crush locked out the site. A barrage utility could come his way to keep him out. Those Molotovs will keep him out for 20 seconds alone. And then you've got Undo flanking around from behind to try and shut him down. Crush is aware of this, trying to loop back through lower tunnels and just keep the hell away from QB.Fire to hold on to this SMG into the next round. Even then, it doesn't leave them with anything to play with, and he's going to go down regardless, so they don't even have that. This round will just be almost a full save. Kenza could potentially buy something. Smike might invest in a PT-50, but it should be another round for QB.Fire.
Yeah, I feel like in the, well, maybe not so much in the early round situations, but in that 4v2, they actually didn't play it too badly. I feel a bit bad for, was it Crush in that situation, because if he goes early, he probably gets that kill, and if he waits a split second after Smike gets a kill on short, he probably gets the kill as well, because we see that Fnatt's about to turn around. In this one, they're just taking the fight to their opposition, pushing into Apps, or Palace even, being taken down 1v1. Okay. Crush with the Zeus. It doesn't earn him any money, but it loses Undo a little bit. I think he'll be okay with his 13,000 left in the bank to rebuy. But still, maybe cause a little bit of tilt. I don't think it will bother QB.Fire too much considering this situation. 9-3 up. Edging themselves ever closer to the next day. Feel like they'll be very happy with that.
I mean, even when you're looking at that, the buy from PRO100 leaves them with nothing in the bank. They're never given the chance to be able to buy consecutively. I mean, if they lose this, it's really not going to be looking good. Even if they win, they have to win it by a solid margin if they want to start to build up some money and they want to be able to buy well into the next round. If they only keep one player alive, their economy is going to be worse off than that of QB.Fire's anyway. So the rounds can't be coming as close as we've seen them be going in the past. This time it's going to be QB.Fire executing out towards the A-bomb site. Thankfully, PRO100 have 3 players here. They are going to be in a fairly decent spot to try and hold this back. They spot out Balbina, but it's going to be Itzmai to kickstart this one with Smike, the first man to go down. Player over in CT in the form of Kenza to try and hold these guys back. Def as well up towards connecting. They're just going to rush straight through the smoke to try and cut him down. Crush still not rotating off the B-bomb site. Only now rotating off, meaning these 3 players have had to hold this back for a hell of a long time on their own. And while Def pinned the connector takes the peak one out, but Albina going to find him. Somehow he loses that duel as Albina comes up top. The pause going to be called in as these guys just get cut down trying to retake this site. They needed to win it by a margin, and it looks like 5 players could stay alive here for QB.Fire. Flaric going to do all he can over in mid. He does get one, but now they're going to go hunting.
Almost gets one, but Quick will be there to finish. This is a masterclass at the moment from QB.Fire, just destroying them in all of the open battles on the sites, and I'm very impressed so far. They may be a force to be reckoned with in this tournament, showing team spirit. I was thinking maybe team spirit have just been a little bit underwhelming, And then PRO100 up against them right now are looking like it's men against boys. And, well, the fact is, it doesn't even matter what happens in the last couple of rounds. There's going to be buys on the board for QB no matter what. They've had such a good economy all the way through. And they have a chance to take a 12-3 on the T side of this map, which is still very, very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a phenomenal first half on the side of QB.Fire. Now, I do think coming into this, I was very impressed with them anyway, and I do feel like I figured they were going to beat PRO100. But I didn't think it was going to be this one-sided, or at least as one-sided as it is right now. Of course, there's still 2 rounds left for PRO100 to try and turn things around, but that's not the start they wanted. Both the players that rush Palace go down. Already Kenza, he's only just got to the B bomb site, and already he's rotating back over towards A. Smike trying to hold the fort with just a USP. He's going to fall at the first hurdles. These guys go in swinging, showing no remorse, crushing the smoke, touching in the tip of his barrel would undo. Kenza and CT, the last man left alive, fighting for his life, does grab an AK. I think ideally he'd maybe want to try and save, but let's take one more, actually. He's making it costly. Undo on the flank, though. One thing is certain, Ken's life expectancy not looking too great. Does get himself a third. Okay, he's in with a shot now. Turns it into the 1-on-2. The Molotov to deny the defuse comes on out. I do think the defuse is out of sight, but at least he's done a boatload of damage. Spots the player out of mid. Fnatic Rocker not going to give him the satisfaction, not going to take the peak. Kenza will be allowed to save, though, and gets the 3K. So that's a little bit more money into the next round, giving them a fighting chance in the last round of the half, but still an 11-3 scoreline. Potential for it to go 12-3. I mean, the best PRO100 can even hope for anyway is an 11-4, so it's not looking good here.
Yeah, when that's your best case scenario on the CT side of Mirage, you know that things have gone badly wrong, especially when, well, let's put it this way. If your opponent's AWPer finishes with 15,600 after buying in the final round, things have gone very badly. Fnatic barely having to have to rebuy it, but what's most impressive is there's not really a standout player at the moment for QB. Every single player is pulling their weight. Every single player is having impact in these rounds, and that's a very scary prospect going forward. Kenza going to be up on this balcony once again. The A execute, looking like it's about to come through. Been very successful so far. Time Kenza will be there. Start things off. A couple of picks going in. Fnatic looking to try and trade things back. They've got it into a 2 versus 2, but as I say that, Flarich and Crush combined, they do manage to finish off this final round of the half, bringing it 11-4, making things a little bit more possible. And if they can step up on the T side, have that impact, which we know they can, then there's still potential for them to take this.
Yeah, a 4-11 scoreline is, well, it isn't fantastic. Getting that 4th round for PRO100 means that the pistol round alone does not decide their fate. And even if QB.Fire pick that up and then take the 2 anti-ecos on the back of it, in a worst case scenario, they'd be looking at a 14-4, which at least doesn't give match point in the way of QB.Fire and gives them that tiny bit of a buffer. You know, when we look at the pistol round buys are going to be in, and well, PRO100, they've opted for a lot of utility. Only 3 players with armor. QB.Fire, they've got 3 players over here towards the A bomb site, and that's the right read to make. They're going to try taking the peek out on towards ramp. They spot the players early on. Quick going to go down, and they're going to get punished for this as Smike pounces on out, finds 2 frags, and instantly turns this round the way of PRO100. Kens are going to be going out with the pistols. They look to turn this game around. Picking up the pistol looks to be inevitable here for PRO100 as it all falls on a Balbina, and it's my Balbina pushing in through CT. Going to go undetected for the time being, makes his way to the site, finds the first, looks for a little bit more, does do the damage on the Kenza, but now trapped, reloading the CZ. It takes a while, but somehow he's still going, gets himself a second, and now it's all on It's My 1v3.
Not really any hope. Manages to pick up the kit, going to try and escape the situation. At least I think he is. Okay. Just a few goodbyes from It's My as he runs for the hills. Extra few $100 for him going into the next round with the Kevlar and a kit. Means he could even get a UMP and some nades if he really wanted it. I'm actually going to go for the scout. drop that over and can still get himself a P250 if he so desires. Still, it's going to be the round going the way of PRO100, and that's important. They need to get off to this strong start on their T side. They've got plenty of utility to play with, a few UMPs along with the AK and the Galil as well. Now we wait to see what they're actually going to be looking like on their T side, what sort of strategies they're going to have in play, because QB.Fire, a lot of stuff they were doing, although there were a few nice like extra nades that they threw, it's sort of just the basic strategies, the aggressive pushes onto the A site, the playing as a team, trading effectively. See if that can be the similar case for PRO100.
PRO100, they did go aggressive with it over towards the A-bomb site. Now going to be falling on back. They watch for any early aggression. And actually, just as they do pull back, Undo going to start pushing on through, up through ramp. The timing couldn't be better here for the lone QB.Fire player. He's going to get so much information on the back of this push in through A ramp. We should already see the players out on that A-bomb site look to turn their attention instead, perhaps over towards mid or to that B-bomb site. It looks like they are going to take a bit of a gamble. They rotate for Nat Rocket on round to rejoin the other two players out at B, and that does look to be the right read. As the bomb pushes up through short, the smoke's gone down for Connector. They can figure out that it is going to be that B bomb site that gets hit. They've got Def in the backline with the UMP looking to try and make things difficult. Down goes Crush, the first man to fall. Def going to be up in Connector. Undo is to check the angle, which he doesn't, so he will fall. And the players within the B bomb site just being cut down by Kenza and Smike with these UMPs. Smike with his AK finishes it off and goes and gets the 3K. Out comes Quick, and he will be quickly dealt with. PRO100 now. Going to find themselves with a 6th round, looking to try and get a 7th. QB.Fire just going to have to relinquish this one in the way of PRO100 as they don't invest much. A couple of PT50s, but that is going to be it.
Yeah, PRO100, I feel like they've got themselves back into this game. Still waiting for the buy rounds to come in from the CT side before but it gets their hopes up too high. B side looking to hit this A side. Back to basics, but look where all the CTs sit. 4 players waiting. Make that a 5th as they rotate in, and they have not checked the most basic of angles. They get a little bit lucky there, but still losing a couple of players to these USPs. Shouldn't be too much more. Quick now. The last one left alive. Checking around mid, see if he can find anything else with the headshot angle. He's being pushed. And Smike again with the triple. Pushing himself to the top of the scoreboard. 7-11. Now, we finally get a buy for the CT side, but not going to be any AWP, limited utility. And by the looks of it, at the moment at least, there's no kit.
I mean, really, it's Smike and Kenza, the 2 players that have stepped up in these last couple of rounds. The ones who have been making a hell of a lot of difference. I mean, those guys single-handedly almost have been trying to pull PRO100 in through this. And now as the bite does come in from QB.Fire, we can see, is that going to be enough in the rifle rounds on their T side? Already they're lining up smokes and flashes over here towards B, throwing them in early on, and looking like they're just going to try and go for it, catch them off guard. Balbina forced on back. The nade doesn't find any damage. They're going to continue this rain of terror in towards B. The smoke goes down for short, rendering it only Balbina within the site, and it's Mai going to be tagged down within inches of death through the smoke. Balbina trying to do all he can to fight for his life, but now Rocket comes out swinging. We'll be able to get one, but Balbina going to be equalized on out quick through the window, caught in midair as Kenza shuts him down. Only managed to get one more, though, as the trade does come in, saying that back and forth we go. The Magnify still in favor of PRO100, although only for a couple of seconds. They're mopping them up back and forth. They have the crossfire set up on their site. It's all on Undo, and he will fall in the 1v2. So that is PRO100 now to pick themselves up in 8th. The pause called in, and I think, once again, justifiably so from QB.Fire. They had a very, very strong T side, but on this CT side, it's been coming up short almost. And some of the plays that they're making, to me, Tom, don't really make too much sense in terms of what they're doing. There seems to be duels that maybe they should be winning. And the fact that, you know, it's almost been single-handedly Smike and Kenza making these plays a reality, coming into this site, doing so well. Def as well, stepping up in the previous. You know, 2 men alone almost turning the tide of this single-handedly. And, you know, we just saw a couple of kind of reckless plays there. Quick, that's the 2nd time he's just been caught jumping into the site, not checking any of the angles. You know, just a couple of things like that. Do you think maybe it's them still being confident and now realizing they can't be? Or, you know, why do you think that is?
So far, like, on the T side, it's very easy to play as a team if you have a set strategy. For example, like pushing onto a site, you throw the smokes, you know that you're going to go in and play the trades. Whereas in this sort of situation, as you said, they were being reckless. They were pushing in individually. You saw, like, a one kill. There was no real chance for any sort of multi-kill position. And when you're a man down, that just benefits the Ts. And, well, this round, a little bit of a fake being sold by Smike. Gonna run into this A site, getting way further than he ever should have done, and he's just cleaning up, making so much money at the moment. Players hiding in the smoke, they've all rotated off, but that is a perfect fake from Smike. Pulls them all off. They're gonna have this site for free.
At this point, they might want to consider saving on a player like Balbina, who does have the armor and the UMP up behind him. Going to be spotted out by Def. I'm fairly sure he did spot him there on the angle. Doesn't want to go with the peak. Knows he's waiting there to try and pick up the AK. Like a vulture, just looking to pick the bones of PRO100 as they try to leave from the site. But instead, they're going to be allowed to exit in through shop and just get the hell out of there. So it will be a 9th round the way of PRO100, 11-9. Still 2 rounds the advantage of QB.Fire, but this one's being pulled back in a convincing fashion by PRO100. Now with money to buy, QB.Fire do have another shot at redemption into this round. They've got the AWP on Fnatic Rocker. They've got utility, plenty of it across the board. Lots of kits as well being bought up, which does mean they are going to be good in these retakes. But the double AWP.
Yeah, switch up of situations. Quick was the primary AWPer for his old team, so, or at least one of his old teams. I think it was him and Luke who would pick it up, so definitely a decent AWPer. He can pull it out on different occasions. We saw it in the previous match they played that he had it once. Now look at this setup from the CT side. They've got a lot of players around that sort of mid area. Window room. I always like this position that Itzmai is currently holding. Just to look down. It doesn't mean you're too aggressive in middle, but it gives you that chance to stop anybody going underpass without you really knowing. However, pushing aggressively, it's actually going to be Florence trying to catch that player out, and instead, Lamina is going to be able to get that first kill, and Itzmai, there we go. The position comes into play. They try and re-peek. 2 players in ladder room is not a common strategy at all. However, the push out, it is Kenza. Highlighted again, who manages 1, but the other man highlighted is gone. Quick with the AWP, takes down Smike. Kenza sees someone cross, low on HP as well. It's Smike, can't really afford to peek into that angle. And in the meantime, the bomb trying its best to push up short.
Yeah, now Crush might be allowed to cross, saying that Fnatic Rocker just taking that position does make the noise. They know exactly where he is and find that frag. They do manage to pick one off. It's Balbina on the flank that could make all the difference. He's got to be quick. Kivik chiming in with 1. Over from A, leaving this on Kenza. 1v3. Itzmai within the B-bomb site. Going to be here alone because his teammate in the form of Balbina has rotated all the way off aggressively, and he's going to fall. So now it's into a 2-on-1. This flank going to be meaningless from Balbina. Pushing up through short is going to get there relatively quickly. Does have Quick as well to try and help him out. Smoke's going to go down. Kenza in the 1v2. He's been a key player for PRO100 in these last couple of rounds, but he's going to fall to Quick with the Deke, who shuts him down. And that is QB.Fire to pick up their first rifle round in this second half on their CT side.
Yeah, great round just in their setup. I think that's what you have to give props to there. The mid presence over towards the ladder room. Nobody really expected there to be multiple players there. That's why you see with that little crossfire, a player just runs straight into ladder, not expecting the second. And then the AWP on the A site, Quick getting 3 kills, doing his job exactly as needed. But that is only 1 in the last 6. Now you can take a little bit away from that. They weren't all buy rounds, but it still hasn't been a particularly good scenario for them. And if they lose this one, PRO100 could be right back in the game.
This from QB.Fire over in mid. They got 3 players here to try and show dominance here early on, and They should be able to deal with this threat pushing in through lower tunnels. It's going to be Kenza and Crush. They've gotten the bomb on their back. So if these guys do go down, bomb will be dropped out in the open. It's looking like they're going to try and split A. But already they lose Def over a mid. Crush is able to trade things out straight away. It's Mai who did go aggressive, going to be taken down. And they're boosting up into window. It's going to go... I was going to say it could go unchecked, but Fnatic Rocker finding Crush. It should be obvious what's gone on. Saying that, not too sure if he is fully aware. Quick call looking completely the wrong way. They didn't know anyone was boosting up. The bomb's been dropped down in mid, which they will be discovering. With Smite going to drop out and do it. Will be the 2-on-3. Bomb in control of the CTs right now. And Pro100 have to try and pick this up if they want to make this round a reality. It's down in mid. Fnatic Rocker watching it from lower tunnels. Balbina up towards short. The rotate coming in from Smike all the way back through T-spawn, it looks like. But no, he's going to change his mind. They've got 40 seconds left. Time going to be key. Balbina actually leaving Fnatic Rocker to stay alone over in mid. Going to be trying to watch the flank. This is a lot of pressure to leave on one man, and now there's no trade possible. He will go down. They're going to be able to pick the bomb up. Now Balbina has to make his way back on in over towards mid. Finds the burst, has to get more work done, and will be shut down by Kenza. That's 3K from him. And that will be the round together with Pro100, which ultimately, you know, I don't know, Tom, do you agree with that play from Balbina? I think, you know, it wasn't too bad an idea to make, but surely it would have been better for those two just to have stayed together over in mid for that trade potential. It left Fnatic Rocker having to watch a hell of a lot of angles all on his lonesome.
I think it's more, it's not Balbina's play I don't agree with, it's the Orbit's play I don't agree with Fnatic. I think him pushing out into middle was,
mid, right? Yeah.
That was just suicidal. There's too many angles. Like, okay, top mid is no longer a problem, but there was, even if he got the first kill, there was no way he was going to be able to spin around and trade.
I think perhaps, you know, up towards boxes in top mid would have been a good angle to watch. You had Balbina holding the push in through T-spawn. And, you know, the bomb was dropped out in the open right in the middle, so you could have very easily watched it from top mid.
I think lower tunnels would have been fine as well. Like, underpass. I don't think there was any problem with his original spot. I think they potentially were overthinking things again. I don't know. Either way, nice round coming out of the tees. They could have rushed that, could have played it, like, poorly. But they managed to win it out, close the round, and as said, they're right back in things. Taking a lot of damage in this one. They have to be a little bit careful, but it seems like Smike is there again. Just restore some normality to things and gets himself a double. He's now hit 24 frags. Kenza's hit 23, and this duo just seems unstoppable at the moment. Really a turn on his head. Undo. Again, they're at least making things very, very pricey for B-side. A to B as well. He's going to want to try his best to keep, although Kenza not really wanting to let him do that. Undo has to be careful as well. Flaric, I think, is going to just ruin his day.
I mean, this is Pro100 making their way back into this in a very big way. There's not really any money for QB.Fire to invest into this round, so they should be able to find their equalizer now. A 12-12 scoreline well and truly within reach. And Pro100 with plenty of money in the bank, buying into the future. Not going to be too much of an issue for these guys. And, I mean, QB.Fire are still with only one round on their CT side. Really struggling here in the second half after an incredibly strong start. Let's not forget, this was 11-4 at one point in time in favor of QB.Fire. Now it's 11-12 with Pro100 about to equalize this out. The mid play going to be coming in from QB.Fire. They're going to be decimated, at least initially, as Def does find the first. But no, they will be able to find him at least. That's going to be an AK for them to work with. Tossed over to Balbina. Now rotating around over towards the A-bomb site. Just looking to try and hedge their bets on this eventual take. Pro100 do have control of the site thanks to the utility just locking QB.Fire out, but they've still got a long way to go before they pick this round up.
Ooh. Fnatic with the big entry kills, going back into that site, manages to get himself a double. It's Mai looking for more. Smite is still doing the damage, but they're losing players left, right, and center. It's all up to Kenza, and it's just not going to happen. A round from nowhere. A round they probably didn't deserve to get, but it's those pistols once again that have given QB.Fire, well, basically to keep the lead. And in fact, it's handed them double AWPs, which is something they wanted to play. They played it previously. That was the one round that they've got on the CT side, but couldn't carry it forward because they weren't able to save them. So things are scary now, and you have to remember, money's not that great for Pro100. They lose this round, they're gone again.
Yeah, I mean, this round is crucial for either side, really. Whoever does lose it will be put onto the economic reset. So it is effectively a 2-for-1. For Pro100, that could mean taking sweet solace in the equalizer, but already it looks like QB.Fire want to try and cement that match point as it's Mai and Balbina find 3 frags between them. Smike fighting for his life, falls on back out from Apps to try and rejoin up with Def, who's been allowed to work his way into the backline, all the way up in window, somehow just slipping on through the net. And he's looking to be the thorn in their sides. Armand only a UMP, railing shots out. They do hear him over in mid. Now Smike joined up. They could try and trade back and forth. There's a player up in ladder room over on short in the form of It's Mai. Smike going to be checking the angle. We'll be able to find that one frag, and they go to turn it into a 2-on-4. Still making this difficult here for QB.Fire to close out. At least easily. Nandu going to take the peek on out. Smike will fall. That's the bomb dropped out into window as well. It will fall down, leaving this all on Def with the UMP. 1v4. Bomb dropped and in control of QB.Fire, and Balbina just tapping on heads. It will be QB.Fire to reach round 14 and reset the economy of Pro100.
Yeah, and they're going to play for overtime. I think that's the right decision to make. Not the same thing we saw from Spirit earlier, where they were just over-forcing in these sort of late round scenarios. They're going to try and at least keep their composure, play things smart. They fought back a long way. They know that they can string rounds together over on this T side, and it's the buys that have been doing it for them, not any sort of force buy, as we saw in the previous round. Double up setup remains on QB.Fire. Again, CT side has not been convincing so far, but may have just done enough. It's Mai firing range. All the players currently in middle. Doesn't want to overface, doesn't want to risk his rifle. And he has support from Fnatt. Flawless round going into what will be the last, potentially, if Pro100 are unable to take it. They will have the AWP on Smike if they so desire it. The rest of the team with rifles, decent amount of utility as well. But if they lose this one, it will be QB.Fire going straight through to the matches tomorrow. Pro100 will be forced into the decider match, which could end up being against Team Spirit.
I mean, the worst kind of part is I feel bad for Kenza and Smike. They've been trying so hard. Between them, they've got 50 frags right now. The rest of the team scraping together 27. So
it's worth just one of them.
yeah, exactly. And you know, it's really got, I mean, on their T side, Def, Crush and Flag have all kind of gotten around 4 frags. Meanwhile, the likes of Kenza and Smike have been topping out around about 15. So they have been desperately trying to haul Pro100 through this. They already lose Smike early on, one of the key players in this lineup. And well, they haven't gained anything for it. They're only making their way out towards mid. The pressure is monumental at this point for Pro100. So incredibly close to having this one slip through their fingers. And while they're going to be making it up through connector, Def pushing on through. Player watching for short. It's going to be It's Mai, but Crush shuts him down. Does put it back into the 4-on-4. They decide to go in and leave connector, but not before Flag actually finishes off quick. Down goes Balbina as well, and this round going to be flipped on its head. Suddenly it's all an undo in Fnatt Rocket in the 2v4. Both players isolated from this B-bomb site. We're going to see Fnatt rotate on round to try and watch the push on him, but Crush is allowed to cross into the site. Everyone's crossing, and Fnatt's missing it all. It is now going to be the 2-on-4 in the retake. Both these players locked out the site. There isn't a lot of money. I was going to say there's a lot of money for the CT side, but there is actually plenty, so they can afford to go for this one. Flarak is going to go down. The trade comes in swiftly from Crush, whose trade game has been on point. Fnatt's going to look to try and save. Doesn't want to give them the AWP. They won't have enough to buy one up unless he goes down with this. They will just decide to look to save. Kenzel's already rotated around to try and deny this attempt, though, and does spot him crossing to the site. Going to tag him in through the wood. Goes over the peak and will fall, but the AWP dropped too far away. Won't be saved up. Pro100 still in with the shot of staying in this.
They'll go for a double AWP setup once again. Yep, they will. Quick gonna pick up the secondary. It has been working reasonably well, but it's a very costly setup to have, and it means that if they are to lose this round, they will be the ones ecoing, and then it really is back that level pegging standard of overtime. Undo up close. They're going to take aggressive presence over towards B site once again. Fnatt is looking to do the same. AWP on a pixel perfect angle. going to deny him with the smoke. I've actually gone back to this two-pronged ladder room as well. Worked wonderfully the last time they did it. Does rely a lot on the AWP on this A site, especially considering how much mid control has been taken. We'll see if they're actually ready for It's My as well. Instead, it looks like they're going to be heading on towards short, so maybe into the belly of the beast. And the beast is Balbina. He gets himself the first. It's My there with him. Fanat Rocker with one more.
What was that? Shot in through the wood over at B. The trades do come back in. Smike and Def doing all they can to try and pull this one back. And well, Smike, the top frag at 4 PRO100, joined by Def, one who has stepped it up in the last couple of rounds to try and keep PRO100 in this. It is the 2-on-3. Bomb's been dropped over in ladder room, and QB.Fire, while they don't have eyes on it, they do know where it is, and they're trying to keep players nearby. It's My peeking out from short to try and keep an eye on this. They've got 20 seconds left to pick that bomb up and then get it down on one of these sites. And we are going to see it retrieved. Now charging out over towards A. Smite going to be the first man on the scene. Def going to be joining him, and no one from QB.Fire in position to deal with this. The bomb is going to go down. Balbina going to be the first man on the scene to try and deny the plant. Knows he won't get there in time. The Molotov comes through, forcing the players over towards jungle. Fanat Rocket could fall prey to this if he tries to peek on in. Goes for the shot, misses it. They now know that he's here, and he's trying to connect something, but moving in through the murder hole, there's a reason it's called that. You will lose this duel. He does have some support coming in from It's My. Over from the ladder room. Def finds them both, though. Balbina going to be on the site, just going to be sticking the defuse. Doesn't have a kit. Def running on through. If he had a kit, there would have been enough time, but no, he goes down. And that is going to be PRO100 to stay in this another day.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused as to why he was so insistent on taking that battle through the vent. It just didn't seem to make any sense. If he could rotate back around to CT, they have dual attack. Both players are in the jungle area as well. They're just adamant on taking that battle, and instead it set them in a troublesome situation. They'll have a buy in the next. Definitely won't be anywhere near the best one they've had. Won't be a chance for double ups either unless they can save one. Balbina will be able to drop an AWP. And I think that's probably the right decision as well, as Fanat has been pulling his weight. Now, with 2 rounds the difference, we are going to be going to the full 30 rounds unless QB.Fire pull off something ludicrous in this round with these pistols they've invested into.
Yeah, I mean, you say that as an impossibility, but we did see them the last time they were on their pistol wire. They did actually win the round out, and it led to them reaching match point. So PRO100 can't go too easy into this one. You're going to be seeing them taking it slowly. Every round is so crucially important now for PRO100. They can't afford to make even the smallest of mistakes. I mean, really, when you look at it, they need to win this one out fairly convincingly as well. They can't afford to go down the pistols because they don't have much money to invest. The AWP on Smike, for example, if that goes down, the chances of rebuying it are going to be looking fantastic if they lose any more than a couple of players here and there. Smoke goes down for window early on. 2 players over towards ramp, but actually Quick's gone all the way up and around in through Palace. There is someone watching the angle. Smike going to be there with the... sorry, Ken's going to be there. Hold that down, pushing on into waiting arms of Quick. Will take him out. Now the A-bomb site just torn open. It's My with the Catalyst rifle that they happen to pick up over towards B. Looking to just stay there. Undo rotating around to the A-bomb site to try and keep these guys at bay. Molotov goes out. It's going to signal their approach. Running in through mid. It's going to be Fanat Rocket. This should be dealt with by Def on the flank. It's all on Undo and CT to try and hold back the tide of PRO100. Does find one. Ken's going to go down. They're doing the damage. It's My now watching the bomb plot from shore. Going to do damage out of Def as well. Finds another into a 2-on-2. We go. They're making it costly, and that's the one thing they couldn't afford to let happen. Smike does deal with Undo within the site. It's My, no armor, no kit. Looking to try and just wreak more havoc here. Makes his way in from jungle to try and do that much more damage. But no, Smike shuts it down. Puts an end to the madness. And as a result, buying up will be fine into this next round.
Investment for the CT side. As said, Bina will be able to drop that AWP. Rifles will come in for the rest of the team. It is really interesting that Flourish has been one of the players to sort of look very, very good in this team, and instead he's currently sat 6-19, not having a decent performance whatsoever. If he can step up in this round, I don't think they're going to mind too much. The potential for overtime. Singular AWP set up this time. Quick, unable to afford that second AWP. They look set. Ready. Hit this A side.
And already Crush could have come in swinging, just decapitates Undo. No refrag in sight, is just bounding with confidence in towards the A bomb site. He goes. Fnatic Rocket going to be watching Tetris trying to knock down on this position with his flag. The next to fall is quickly there to get the equalizer. Fnatic Rocket now chumming with one out to Crush. Suddenly it's all on Def and Smike as Fnatic Rocket steps up in a big way, gets himself to Def flanking in through lower tunnels. It's going to be falling on deaf ears. There's no one currently here for him to deal with. There is going to be It's My watching from short. Smike chiming in with one, Def dispatching of It's My. Back into a 2-on-2. Quick pin down over towards stairs. Does deal with the flanking player. Has the bomb out in the open. Smike trying to deal with Quick first. Does find him into the one-on-one. Fnatic Rocket falls onto the site. It's so crucial here that he does pick it up, and Fnatic Rocket clutches it out. 1v1 wins the round out for Quantum Bellator. And that is going to be them winning this one out, 16-14. They put an end to a monster comeback in that second half and win it out by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, ridiculously close in the end, and I think they were a little bit lucky to get away with that, the way that it came towards the last round, and a few overfaces as well that were slightly unnecessary when the bomb was down, but after a stellar T-side, they eventually are able to close things out on the CT, and it really does show that, well, in terms of these two teams, their T-side Mirage is brilliant. They just need to work on that CT side. Both teams getting, what, 10 rounds, 10, 11 rounds, and just wasn't quite enough to finish things off. Either way, we do have another match for you, our losers match, our elimination match, which will be Team Spirit versus Spartak, a best of 3 coming up after the break, so make sure you don't go anywhere as we're going to lose our first team from Group B.